Hey guys, Desolator Magic here. Time for part 2 of Chapter 4 of the Rivals of Ixalan storyline. Oh my gosh, I am so excited I could barely contain myself. So this section starts by saying Jace told Vraska everything he knew about Nicobolus. Alright, that was a fun chapter. I'll see you guys next video. Seriously, that's what they're going with? They're gonna hold down the fast forward button until that happens in the narrative? What the hell? That's a whole dialogue thing. That's a scene. That's an entire chapter by itself. Oh my god, anyway, it says, yeah, he told her about the failed attempt to take the planar bridge, which I don't remember what happened with that. But I don't remember, once again, I mean I never read it in the first place. Of course I would remember it if I read it. I have a fantastic memory. Then he tells her about the army of the Eternals and Amonkhet, tells her that they have 4 toughness, 4 defense, and they're really, really, really annoying. He also says that he doesn't care what it takes, he's going to planeswalk back to Amonkhet, find the Scarab God, and erase his mind to the point where he thinks that he's AT&T tech support. Then instead of constantly bringing things back from the graveyards and just ruining the game for everybody, he'll just sit there on the battlefield asking them if they've tried rebooting their modem. But Vraska says, okay, put that on your to-do list because first, I'm supposed to be stealing this thing and bringing it back to Bolas. So Jace and Vraska figure out that her transplanar magic spell that basically got matrixed into her head, that's going to contact Tezzeret, who will turn on the planar bridge and use it to grab the immortal sun. So apparently that's specifically how they're going to do it. And when he says Tezzeret, she's like, I have no idea who that is. And he's like, oh, the guy from my visions and my memories from when I was younger, the guy with the arm. And she's like, oh, and it just says she swore with revulsion. I'm going to fill in the gaps here. She probably said, oh my God, he is such an abuser and you are such a victim. We need to do something about this, Jace. Let's go to change.org and sign a petition that'll say it's illegal to be Tezzeret. Also, all artifacts are illegal and blue mana too. Let's solve this, and don't forget to go outside and hold up signs. Oh, if you haven't figured it out already, my third channel is titled Desolator Reads Quotes that he made up in a sarcastic, angry SJW sassy gay boy voice. Oh, and then I put TV on the end because that's like a big thing everybody's been doing. By the way, best line ever from Vraska. Oh, and then Bolas went to Amonkhet to blow up his corpse factory. What does he plan to do with zombies that are stuck on a dead plane? Okay, he literally just said, Bolas sent Tezzeret to Kaladesh to retrieve a portal that can transport objects. As in non-living objects. Like quite possibly the undead. I'm stretching here, but makes sense. I don't know, who knows. But he says, yeah, then he sent you to retrieve something that locks planeswalkers on a plane. And so then he's got an army of undead, and they're trying to put it together. Now remember, a long time ago, some staff members in an interview accidentally, or purposely, but it's them we're talking about, so accidentally leaked the fact that the blue mineral called, Lazotep, that's what it was. The blue mineral Lazotep was the cornerstone of Nicobolas' plan. It's the reason that he went to the plane of Amonkhet, because they had that blue mineral. And remember, all of the Eternals, the undead army's armor was made out of Lazotep. So even in the storyline, they never mentioned that it was important at all. They mentioned that it was being mined, but that's it. Like, it was supposed to be some big reveal. Well, whoopsies, maybe you should tell all your staff members what's top secret and what's not. So Jace's face went pale. Vraska could see the whites of his eyes. He shut them and groaned. They aren't just corpses anymore. They were treated with Lazotep. Lazotep slices and dices and makes julienne fries. And wait, there's more. If you buy now with 3 easy payments $19.99, you'll also get your own Eternal army. But he said, yeah, Lazotep, it's a mineral that's affixed to the Eternal's organic matter to make them objects that could survive the interplanar travel. Ooh, I was right. I should have just read ahead one sentence, but I like being right. I'm like Jace. I like puzzles. Actually, I hate puzzles. I like solving puzzles because I hate puzzles. It's like defeating them. In fact, I'm going to go to change.org right now and start a petition to make puzzles illegal. I like patterns and perfection and not chaos, so they trigger me, so they have to be removed from existence because the whole world revolves around me. Also, you better get my pronouns right. They're he, him, and his majesty. So Vraska's like, oh my God, he made an army that he could transport across the multiverse. Now, see, here's the thing though. Why would he need that? Like, he showed up to Amonkhet and vaporized anybody older than the age of like 4 or something. I don't know. He doesn't seem like the army type. I don't see why he would need an army, but I mean, I guess Nicobolus plus, like Nicobolus and an army, okay. Well, it's like me and Tasty Snackies getting in a fight and I get brass knuckles. Like, it's gonna be the same result anyway, but now I have brass knuckles. By the way, Piece of Garbage and his garbage MTG content has been trying to do a collab with everybody, even people smaller than him at this point, because he's taking coattailing to brave new levels. Like, he's on Twitter, like, begging for collabs and shoutouts and stuff. I'm like, dude, your content is garbage. It's not an exposure problem. It's not a marketing problem. It's that, one, you're an asshole, and two, your content sucks. In fact, I hope that Nicol Bolas takes his army and invades Tasty Snacky's shitty channel. That would be awesome. So anyway, the Jason Vraska theory is that he could beam in a army of undead and then also beam in the Immortal Sun, and then nobody could leave, which, I mean, 0.0000001% of the population is planeswalkers, so that's a little shaky if you ask me. But, I don't know, whatever. I guess maybe planeswalkers would somehow know to not planeswalk to the plane because they wouldn't be able to leave, except that when he brings the army and the Immortal Sun to the next plane, and then they could leave. So I doubt that theory. It doesn't really make sense, which means it's probably absolutely flawlessly true in the canon because nothing makes sense. Now, I love this one. Okay, Vraska's like, oh my god, is there anything that might tell us what his endgame is? Jace paused. I need to check. One moment. Where and what are you checking and how? Is he hacking into Nicol Bolas's voicemails? What the hell is he talking about I need to check? So Jace closed his eyes and remained completely still for 2 minutes. Okay. Call it right now. Interplanar astral projection. So at last, Jace finally opened his eyes with absolutely no explanation of what he did or how he did it, because I'm sure whatever it is, it wouldn't make a damn ounce of sense. And he looked at her with the saddest expression she had ever seen on someone's face. Show me, Vraska commanded, and Jace did. The air rippled with the now familiar sign of illusion, and Vraska watched through Jace's eyes, if Des could read today, but he can't, because he never can, because reading is hard. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's going back and remembering, and plus now projecting the illusion of when he was trying to break into Nicol Bolas's mind. Because that went so well. I do believe that in that chapter they said something about he caught a glimpse of something, but then he had his memories erased. So if he just concentrates and tries to recall that memory of what he saw, there you go. So I guess that does kind of make sense. Or as they put it, he was trying to sense what the dragon's plan was, stop him from doing harm, and for a brief moment, he had done it. He saw the goal, and the answer stopped his heart in his chest, which is, I'm sure, an exaggeration, or he would have been dead. Although Jace is a little pansy and oversensitive, nervous type, so maybe he did have a slight palpitation over a plan instead of confidence and logic and calm battle wisdom. Oh, guys, I hope you're sitting down for this one. I have a big disappointment for you, because this really kind of implies, or at least strongly suggests something about the future of Magic and what plane we're going to. Just an FYI, I gotta brace you for this one. I can't just hit you right in the face with this one like a 10-pound hammer, all right? Are you braced? Are you tensed up and ready to hear this one? Ravnica was writ large upon the ambition of Nicol Bolas's mind. Yep. This whole plan's about Ravnica. Yay, I hope we go back. And this is not a maybe. As they put it, it was not purposely laid out as traps of the mind often are. Like, it's not like he left a false plan for someone to discover. This was woven into the dragon's intention, stamped broad and bright across his subconscious. Like, every thought had the underpinning of Ravnica. At least Ravnica is 2-color. If we go to another 3-color hellhole like Khans, oh my god, I am quitting the game. I am so sick of 3-color. 3-color is solely 100% responsible for energy getting out of control. It is 100% responsible for $800 to $1,000 decks in Khans of Tarkir. I mean, the fetch lands, yeah, but how many fetch lands did you need is what I'm saying. Nobody wants to play 3-color, okay? It's either unreliable, but you can kind of make it work, or it's completely reliable and you can't play anything else. And then you need bare minimum $50 to $100 worth of lands just to play anything at all. So if we go back to Ravnica and there's guilds and crap, okay, whatever. Limit it to 2-color then. So they do mention that, Nicobolus kind of slammed his psychic energy back at Jace when he saw that he was attempting to, read his mind or whatever. But then he kind of left himself open for like a split second, and there was that trap that, what was it, Alhammarad, I think it was? Or Ugin? No, I think it was Ugin. He put it in his mind where if anybody tried to read his mind at all for any reason, it would teleport him to Ixalan. That's because Jace knew that Ugin was still alive, and almost nobody else knows that. So since Ugin wanted to keep his presence very, very, very secret, because, well, he didn't want to get killed by Nicobolus again without having a weapon or a plan, he snuck that little trigger spell into Jace's mind. And so when anybody would try to read Jace's mind, like Nicobolus did, boom, you've activated my trap card. I'm going to go teleport to Egypt. Oh, that joke would have landed so much better if it was Amonkhet. Oh, and in case you're a bit thick, as the British say, it says Ravnica in italics was Nicobolus's goal. Everything led there. Literally, guys, we're going to Ravnica. The next set after Dominaria is Ravnica. Do I have to beat you in the face any harder with it? This is foreshadowing to the point of just literally typing it. Okay, I might be exaggerating slightly there, but I really think that's where we're going, unless he goes to Dominaria to try to undo the mending so that he can use godlike powers to attack Ravnica, and then he gets defeated there. And then we don't have to go back to that plane that we were just at, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? No thanks. Honestly, at this point, Ravnica was probably taken over by SJWs anyway, so I hope the plane collapses into a black hole. And it just might under the force of their sheer smug sense of self-satisfaction if it got taken over by the SJW guild. Okay, let me fill in what Vraska should be thinking right now because the story doesn't mention it, but why would she not be? Nicobolus, in the first place, in Chapter 3 of the Ixalan storyline, go read it, he said, do you want to be the guild leader of whatever your crappy guild you're from, the one that everybody hates and wants dead because Gorgons suck? I believe that was the exact terminology he used. And she's like, cool, I get to be guildmaster. Well, now he wants to unleash an army on Ravnica, so yeah. I feel like maybe the guild wouldn't survive very long then. It's one of those like Curse of the Monkey Paw level things where you get what you wish, but not really. So anyway, she's not thinking of that. Instead, she says he wants to unleash an army on our home with my help. Wait. The my should be in italics, not the help. With my help. Like, oh, it's so offensive that I'd be a part of destroying my own home. A lot of odd sentence structure and grammatical formatting in this chapter. They were both very quiet. It was too much, too large, too overwhelming. Which there should definitely not be a comma there. The object Vraska had voyaged for months to find was hanging above them. Okay, go to Ravnica, spray a little bit of dragon repellent. Boom, done. Problem solved. Then it says, Vraska briskly stood up. She paced, swearing over and over and over, picking up a rock and throwing it at the immortal sun. That's constructive. She rolls a 20, she's going to get a crit and probably break it. Well, she's like, ain't that a bitch? If I don't deliver it, I'm trapped here, and if I do, Nicobolus will destroy Ravnica. Yeah. Yeah, next time you want a job, get it from, careerbuilder.com, not from sketchy dragon guy who left a book in your house. I mean, I would have thought it goes without mentioning, but she's kind of thick. So Vraska's like, oh, this sucks, because the second that I get back, he's going to read my mind, know that I know you, and then kill me, because now we're allies or whatever. That would be bad. And then, of course, the Golgari Guild, which is the one she's from, will get destroyed, and then she'd be the queen of nothing. Yay. And then Jace says this has been such a farce. Can't really disagree with that reading these lower stories, but maybe that's not what he's referring to. Although he does say, Kaladesh, Amonkhet here, the Gatewatch wasn't protecting anything. Not really. I've let everyone down. That is the truest, most accurate statement ever. It's because you idiots don't know how to plan, and Gideon especially is like a level 10 moron. He has ascended to epic levels of stupidity, in that he shows up to the plane like, let's fight Nicobolus to see what's going on here. Oh, look, the Hunger Games. Well, screw that. I'm going to go follow this giant 40-foot tall cat around and go kill people. That sounds awesome. Screw this whole Bolus thing. Oh, now we got to fight Bolus. Crap, we don't have a plan, and we're all dead. Okay, great. So this is very telling, though. Vraska's trying to wrap her head around it, so she's just thinking out loud. And she says, well, Nicobolus intends to trap planeswalkers and what? Eliminate the rest of Ravnica? Muffle it so he can trap the enemies he's worried about and destroy somewhere else? Or both of them seem pointless. If he wanted to kill the planeswalkers, he would just do it. I don't understand his intent, and at this point, neither do I, and I think that's the point. It's called suspense. So she's like, okay, I can't go back, and he'll just read my mind and kill me, and I can't stay here because he'll just attack Ravnica without the Immortal Sun, because why wouldn't he? I mean, nothing there could stop him, as far as I know. So a thought occurs. What if he looked into her mind and saw nothing? A terrible idea sparked in her mind. A terrible, brilliant idea. Well, pat yourself on the back a little harder, author of this story, my God. So Jace looks over and he's like, oh, you got an idea? And she's like, I have an idea, but you're not gonna like it. Especially since they're like BFF victim support group codependent morons at this point. You already know what they're gonna do. It was leaked in the art book if you saw that video. So then she finally just breaks the news to him. I need you to temporarily, mind you, take my memories of you. Jace recoiled in disgust. I won't do that. I will not do that, Vraska. Vraska, I love you too much to do that. Vraska, you can't make me do it. I love you too much, Vraska. What you asking me to do? It's just too much. Jace, mi amor. It's only temporary. Amigo, it's the only way. It's the only way we can end this telenovela. Until your evil twin brother shows up on the scene and intercepts Nicol Bolas and then gets amnesia, more powerful than any amnesia that's ever been amnesiaed. Necesitamos hacer algo. Okay, literally the only thing he said was, I'm not hurting you like that. Like he did not go on an epic telenovela rant. But I'm just saying it would have been more entertaining if he did. So she says, oh, it's only temporary. You'd be protecting both of us, blah, 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 blah. You take the memories from my mind and hold them in yours, which apparently that's a thing that can happen. It's news to me. I would save them to a flash drive, like a really nice, like a waterproof, shockproof flash drive, like I don't know, Corsair Survivor. Those are pretty nice. Oh, the Patriot XT Rage. Oh my God, those are like really nice, but they're made out of silicone, so I'm allergic. And she's like, okay, then sometime when I'm back on Ravnica, you show up and give me the memories back. Also, I'm pregnant. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, you already know that I made that up. By the way, who do you think has more balls in this relationship here? Okay, who's wearing the pants at the moment? Jace, Mr. I don't know what to do. I'm a victim. I've been harassed and abused. I'm going to make my entire life about that instead of trying to recover and get over it. Wah. Or if that bastard thinks I would stand by and allow him to conquer my plane with my help, he's got another thing coming and I'd betray him 1,000 times over to stop him from doing to Ravnica what he did to Amon Ket. Take a guess who said that one. So even though Vraska said literally not one word about sabotage of anything at all, Jace says, what type of sabotage are we talking about? Literally out of thin air. I reread it twice. I am not kidding. Not one word that she said had anything to do with sabotage. I mean, misleading him, erasing her memories to fool him, but not like a backstab. Well, I mean, she literally said like backstab. But she didn't say sabotage, though. I mean, the chapter, the title is Sabotage. I was hoping that they were just going to, like, plant some kind of bomb on, like, the Immortal Sun or something. That would be pretty sweet. Some kind of, like, mana drain feedback loop, something, I don't know, and then it detonates like a nuke. That'd be cool. So she talks about her sabotage, but they're still not using that word correctly because it says, oh, well, he promised me the title of Guild Leader. Law of Magic was built into the fabric of Ravnica even before Azor arrived. Oh, didn't know that. That's interesting. The metaphysics of the plane are built around hierarchy or hieromancy, which is the hierarchy, law, magic, whatever. I already said that a million times. And guild leaders have access to that power. Interesting. I like that. Especially when they work together. That happens a lot. I'll accept the position. Oh, God, they really work together with the Golgari. That's everybody's favorite. That's pretty much the premier out of all the guilds. Anyway, I'll accept the position and keep working as his lackey while you do. What in the hell does this say? Okay, let's read this slowly because I'm fairly certain at this point it's a typo. I'll accept the position and keep working as his lackey while you do your guild pack thing. That is what it says. So Jace is going to do your guild pack thing and work on devising a plan. The dragon won't suspect anything because I won't be on your side until you remind me that I am. Ooh. I'm such a double, triple, backstabbing, double, super, reverse, squared, logarithmic, like whatever the hell else, double agent that even I didn't know I'm a double agent. It's the perfect plan, Jace. It's the perfect plan. Okay, she didn't say any of that. When you're ready and when we can hurt Nicol Bolas the most, return my memories and we'll set whatever plan you make in motion. She's basically guaranteeing that we're going to Ravnica at this point. I'm not thrilled about that. Screw Ravnica. I want to go to a plane with nothing but monkeys and squirrels. Okay, monkey and squirrel plane. It could be called Rise of the Plane of the Apes. And they could get an army of monkeys, teach them how to fly, and then use the same trick that Nicol Bolas used to defeat Ugin, which is a swarm of flying, well, it was dragons, but in this case it would be monkeys. And they would just throw bananas and obviously feces at him until he's dead. I mean, if it worked on Ugin when he had the powers of a god, now that the mending took place, Nicol Bolas would be monkeyed to death pretty damn quick. I mean, the story writes itself. I just want a 2-cost instant that says throw. So then she says, even if he catches on to what you're doing, he won't think it will work because he'll think I'm loyal to him. And plus, she'll be the one who has access to the law magic, which is so powerful it convinced Azor to go live on an island by himself. Okay, convince is completely not the right term, but you get what I'm saying. The plan felt insane to say out loud, but Vraska knew it would work. No, it actually sounds perfectly reasonable and logical and appropriate out loud, so all right. So now, may I remind you that Jace was a very good, mental magic guy, telepath, whatever, mind mage or whatever they call him. They kind of mix it up. And now he remembers everything that Alhammaret taught him, like skill and talent and spell-wise. So now he's like Super Saiyan Jace, basically. So he's like, yeah, I could erase your memories and then also use Ubavir's maneuver, I believe it's pronounced. It's not a real culture or background or language, so I could pronounce it however the hell I want and probably be correct. But he says, yeah, it's a method for smoothing over evidence of mental tampering. So there you go. He also said that he's going to reverse engineer the spell that Ugin put on him to further disguise the gap left behind, which makes no sense because it was a subtle, undiscoverable trap, not like camouflage. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay, $10 says that he erases his memories of himself. She like blinks once and is like, "Oh, Jace, I hate you," and then turns him to stone. That would be the greatest ending to this chapter ever. So it turns out that they never had a plan in the first place, really, because Vraska says who on Ravnica could help come up with a sabotage plan that we don't have at all. Okay. Jace thought for a moment and then, well, you guys already know the answer to this. Here, I'll give you a second to try to think of it. Who on Ravnica could help them come up with a very clever plan? Are you thinking? Are you thinking? Are you thinking? Too late. Time's up. Niv Mizzet, obviously. He could challenge Nicol Bolas both physically and mentally. Remember, people were not afraid of Niv Mizzet because he's a giant dragon. They were afraid of his mind and his plans and his scheming. So, duh. Also, Jace thinks it's funny that Nicol Bolas would discover that there's a dragon smarter than he is, as he phrased it. And yeah, from what I've heard, that probably is true. Nicol Bolas is like clever because he's lived for a while. I mean, I'm going to say he has high wisdom, but he's kind of an idiot based on what he's done in the past, how many times he's failed and how he goes about things and his carelessness and just everything. He's just not that smart. Are you guys ready for another bombshell? Duck and cover because I'm going to drop it on you. Where will you go after it's gone, she asked, nodding up at the immortal sun. Jace stood. That's an odd way to say Jace said, because the next line is dialogue. Anyway, Jace stood. I need to meet my friends on Dominaria. Dun, dun, dun. So I guess if I were to read into the implications of this, that's where they planned to meet up, even though it never said that they had a backup plan. But Dominaria is at the center of the multiverse. It makes sense. It's a nice little anchor point, and he probably said, hey, everybody meet at Dominaria. Which means we're probably just going to see them try and figure stuff out, plan some stuff, talk to Teferi, solve some little problem there, and then go straight to Ravnica right after it. I mean, that's what it seems like to me right now. So all this crap about Nicol Bolas trying to undo the mending, maybe not. Unless we're going to Ravnica and then right directly back to Dominaria, which actually would be kind of funny. So she asks to recruit them, and he says no, mostly to apologize for being absurdly late. Remember, they've been on Ixalan for something in the order of about 3 months. So they went there instantly after Amonkhet, I think. I thought it was very heavily implied that Chandra planeswalked to like Kaladesh and everybody basically went to their home, but I don't know. They all needed healing crap, so maybe they took a week to show up there. But yeah, it's safe to say they've been waiting on Dominaria for a while, wondering where Jace is, coming up with a plan of their own, and probably getting, caught up in whatever's going on in Dominaria, which is... Dominaria is like the Neverwinter of, like, the Magic world. Like, everything that's bad or could go wrong happens to Dominaria because story. Like, one time one of my friends brought up Neverwinter in some context of a game or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, Neverwinter, because nothing bad ever happens there in any game or storyline ever. Literally, if I lived in Neverwinter, I would just get up and leave and move anywhere. Absolutely anywhere else except California. I mean, I have some standards. What's that one plane of icy hell that you go to in Neverwinter Nights Platinum, the expansion? I'd rather move there. So get this, okay, if you weren't convinced we're going to Ravnica, okay, I won't stay on Dominaria after I find them, though, he said, strangely quiet. Yeah, why would he be that? I don't get it. A little crease was cut between his eyebrows. The guild pact belongs on Ravnica. I don't want to be like Azor. Literally the polar opposite of being in the Gatewatch, where you go around from plane to plane screwing with people's lives. Oh, I only care what happens to Ravnica. Screw everybody else. Yay. What is he, Switzerland? Come on. So Vraska knew that she'd be obviously leaving immediately after her mission is done, so she tells Jace to see if he knows where her crew is, the belligerent crew, and he's like, yeah, they're actually fighting in the room above us. Yeah, that would have been worth mentioning before. So he says, I can send Malcolm or Breaches a message if you like, so let's hope they survive the battle. And Vraska says, tell them both we've been captured, tell them to return to the ship, Amelia's in charge, and that the crew is the best thing that ever happened to me, that's the truth. Also, tell them to rig the geocaching event and start subtracting miles mysteriously and hope nobody notices, because clearly after saying that, the pirates cannot control Araska. In fact, Angrath is there fighting, but he just wants to leave. He just wants the Immortal Sun to, like, piss off. Who's left? I don't know of any other pirate crews. I mean, I assume there are some, but it's not Malcolm. I mean, I have no flippin' idea. Okay, right before Jace erases her memories, this happens. Vraska smiled. After this is all over, can I show you the Tin Street Market back on Ravnica? Jace returned a sad smile of his own. I remember where Tin Street Market is. Yes, but I want to give you a tour. Get some coffee. I know a really good bookstore. You like books? Jace asked, a hopeful, happy look in his eyes. Vraska nodded. I'll get a history. You can get some schematics or whatever it is you like to read, she teased. He laughed. I like memoirs. Really? You like memoirs? I like interesting people, he said with a soft and bashful smile. Vraska smiled. It's a date. What the hell was any of that? So Jace was supposed to erase any gaps in her memory so that Nicobolas wouldn't be suspicious, and as soon as he cast the spell or whatever, she opened her eyes and says, how did I get here? This is gonna work. This plan's gonna work great, everybody. Oh my god. So then she's like, oh, is that the Immortal Sun? And she points the little compass at it and is pointing right at it. She's like, oh, cool, I found it. Good for me. So she starts casting that, like, mad powerful spell, which it says is very complicated, very complex, requires a lot of focus, because, yeah, it's interplanar magic. You don't want to dick around with that stuff. So after a minute, she's like, did it work? Did I cast it correctly? And then, boom, a violet circle opened directly beneath the Immortal Sun. She felt a strange shifting inside of herself as the sun was pulled through to another plane. As the portal closed, Vraska planes walked away. And that's definitely good because if you recall from, I believe, 2 chapters back, maybe 3, well, okay, it doesn't help that I'm doing these in 2 parts. But anyway, the last thing we knew about the fight in the room above was that the floor collapsed. So not much to fight over now, is there? Unless you really like gold. Kind of undermines the whole, ooh, what tribe will get to run Araska? Who gives a crap? And the pirates were instructed to leave. Okay, so that's where we are right now. Now the only thing that could possibly happen of interest in the rest of the storyline is Breaches versus Nicobolas in a death battle where Breaches has godlike powers. In fact, you know how the MTG movie was canceled? Make that the movie. I would watch the hell out of that. So anyway, that is the end of this chapter. Hopefully we get some more interestingness in the next chapter. I do believe that there's actually 2 chapters left. That should be interesting. I know that on February 14th, the 6th chapter will be revealed, I believe is what they said. That will indicate who took over Araska. So in chapter 5, I assume that we'll have Elenda meet up with the vampires and join the battle and just a bunch of combat, and I don't know, I can't think of any other loose ends that weren't tied up. Oh, the Aztec army will show up too. So look forward to that, and I'll see you guys next story.